Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a while since I feel like we've actually sat and caught up. As you guys could see from the past few videos I've posted, that's kind of just been me traveling and getting to Montana. So it's been a little bit of a journey, and the past few months have just been basically just getting settled in. And then the second portion has just kind of was just me focusing on my real estate tests and my exams, and that has taken me to now on the other side of it, basically the end of summer. Just kind of wanted to give you guys a recap and just kind of catch up on everything, to kind of share what life has been like since I've moved here and just kind of what I've been up to. And I just feel like this is a little bit overdue. So I made it to Montana. I'm in my house. I really like it. It's in a really good spot, and it's usually nice and quiet. I don't know if you can hear a generator going outside right now because my neighbors are doing something. Oh, they just turned it off. Thanks, guys. So right after we got to Montana, we made it to our houses and literally just came and dropped all of our stuff off. So the end of the last video that you just watched, that was basically we just came, dropped all of our stuff off at our houses. I think I left my car here and we took Keith's car and drove to his hometown where he's originally from, because we had a wedding to go to. So that's kind of what that picture is from. We did that literally our first weekend being here. And then shortly after was the main priority was getting Keith's apartment set up. Mine came fully furnished, so I didn't have to go out and worry about buying all these odds and ends things. Obviously, there were things like here and there that I kind of needed. So we did several Costco runs. On the Sunday we came back. The primary focus was just to get Keith a bed, kitchen supplies to cook, and be able to have food. We also went and did a huge grocery shop. Good old Costco. We gotta love Costco. Not sponsored, but we really like them. I think we did 3 major stock ups on that day. 3 runs to Costco, or Keith did 3 runs to Costco. And I stayed back and I think kind of cleaned and organized, because neither one of us has a dishwasher. So all the dishes needed to be washed by hand, and just everything needed to be unboxed, and then all of that trash. There's literally a picture of all of the packaging we had to throw away. It was a lot of boxes. If you see me look over here, I'm just kind of going through my camera roll so I can remember basically everything that's happened. We had a nice wholesome moment. I feel like it's like the new moving, when you've just moved somewhere kind of moment. We got a Costco pizza and just ate pizza straight out of the box in the middle of his floor of his apartment, because he didn't have tables or chairs or anything. So that's what this picture is. But we were just so excited to just kind of finally have our apartments after it being almost a year since we've been talking about everything, and actually getting to be able to live near each other and just kind of have our apartments and everything. So that was really exciting. So then after setting up Keith's apartment, we just kind of spent a lot of time setting mine up. I still had a lot to unpack. Obviously you saw how packed my car was, putting all my clothes away, all my bathroom things away, and dishes and things like that. And for the most part, all of that stuff wasn't nearly as much as Keith's, but it was still a decent amount to get done. Then we just kind of done a lot of exploring in our area. We went to a local park and just got to look at some ducks and stuff like that. We both kind of started getting involved with our jobs. So we'd been in contact with our employers before we moved here, but we obviously hadn't met in person. So I have a little clip I filmed the first day I got to meet my employers face to face. Good morning, everyone. Today is Friday, so it's been about a week since I've really filmed. It's been very busy since we've got here. Immediately the first day, we had to go back to Keith's hometown, which is about an hour and a half away from here. And we had to go to a wedding that weekend, so we just kind of spent the weekend there. And then we were finally back in our own homes, in our own town on that Sunday, so this past Sunday. And then we've literally just been unpacking and getting things ready and just kind of like settling into our homes. And it's been a lot of shopping, a lot of laundry, a lot of just chores and things like that. We've been very busy with all those things, and also pretty tired amidst all of that. So we're pretty settled in now, and finally got to relax and things like that. So figured it's finally time to update you guys and show you kind of where we're at with life right now in Montana. I'm in my new house. This is the first place I've ever had to myself. I absolutely love it. I am so glad that everything worked out the way it did. I met my landlord yesterday. She's not from this area, so she was visiting yesterday, so that was nice to actually be able to meet her face to face. I am all dressed up this morning because I am going to a meeting at a real estate brokerage down the street. So I've kind of been talking to them the past few months as well as I've been working on getting my license. I'm really excited to go meet with them today and just kind of get a face to the name as well and just kind of touch base with them, because obviously I would like to work for them. It's just been really cool to kind of have all of the balls rolling, and just kind of all of the plans that we've been talking about is kind of finally coming together now, and it's more of like the execution phase of everything, which is really cool. And he just had a meeting with his school yesterday. He got to meet his people yesterday. I kind of get to meet my people today. Very exciting for both of us. I'll probably get back into the swing of my studying and all that next week, just because I wanted to have this week to kind of settle in for the most part. Now this week is over, I think I'll really be able to focus on that in the future. That's kind of the update for now. Got to see the Lilo and Stitch movie the day before it came out. I think it must have released early here. So we went to go see that movie. That was really fun. And then we've also just kind of got to actually date together. So for those of you who don't really know our story as much, we met over a year ago now, and we've been dating for over a year as well. And from the start of our relationship we've just been long distance. We'd been doing long distance from day one. We would fly back and forth to see each other almost every month, and then there were a couple times it went like 2 months, and then there was a time when he was in school that went like 3 months we didn't see each other. It was a lot of FaceTime, a lot of that stuff, and just doing FaceTime dates, which you can only be so limited, obviously. It's quite crazy to us that we were able to grow our relationship to what it is now while doing long distance that whole time. Obviously, being in person, we were just excited to go out and do things together. Went to Twisted Bliss, which is a froyo place around here. We've done little campfires and stuff, hiking, we've done camping, we've gone paddleboarding a lot, just doing all of those types of things and exploring just where we live now. And so that kind of sums up the first part of the summer. I would say it was really just transition time, dating time, kind of just the glorious times. It was like a couple weeks where we were just like getting settled in and just enjoying our time together. And then I decided it was time to finally start studying for my exams. My original plan was to take the tests and be passed by early June, I think was the goal. Needless to say, that did not happen. The tests are hard. Let's just leave it at that. Anytime you look it up, they say the tests are hard, everybody says the tests are hard, and I'm not naturally a good test taker, but in my mind I thought, you know what, how hard can it be? I've been studying my butt off, I've been reading everything, I can do this test, I thought I could do it first try, no problem. And some agents do, great for them. I, on the other hand, again, terrible test taker. It took me 2 tries with my national and 3 with my state, which was definitely very discouraging the first time I failed. I also was under the impression that you were going to take both at the same time, but it turns out you can book them separately. So the second time I took it, I focused primarily on my national test, but because I got the state one kind of included with my price with that test, I just took the state one again, just because more exposure I thought would be good. National one passed so much better the second time, just because I actually knew what questions to look out for and what kind of tricks, because it's a very tricksy kind of exam. They definitely try to trip you up. But the national second time I passed, and then the state the third time I passed, or I focused on that exam because the state one's harder than the national. But once I actually locked in, just kept grinding out those state questions. I used ChatGPT a lot for that and just put in the course outline and just had it ask me really hard test questions similar to the state exam. That was what ended up really helping, and so I would definitely recommend that for anybody looking to take their test. Ever since then, I've had several agents tell me that you don't use any of that knowledge actually practicing real estate. All of that stuff is just kind of the legal side of stuff to make sure you understand the laws and the processes in place and all the boards and all of the basically organizations involved, and just basically how to not be illegal and how to stay legal. And yeah, I'd say that was kind of the main focus. That's the main source of information you're going to get from those exams and for studying. And then after I finished those tests, finally passed my national, and then I finally passed my state, I had this moment, I think it was either that night or the next day, where I was like, now what? It turns out that's a very real and normal thing for a lot of agents as well. I've watched so many YouTube videos about it. It's just definitely a thing. Like, you get into real estate, you work so hard to get your license, and then all of a sudden you're just like, what am I supposed to do? Like, how do you even start, you know? And so that was definitely really stressful, and I would say I'm still kind of in that phase now. I'm still learning the ropes of everything, doing a lot of training. Like, for instance, today I had my first open house shadow. So I went with an agent from my brokerage and just got to go kind of watch and talk with her about how she does open houses and just how she's kind of got her business up and going. Definitely learning a lot. I feel like right now I'm just a sponge. I'm just absorbing everything. I've been doing training calls. My brokerage is partnered with a company called Place, and Place is a nationwide organization that we're partnered with, and they give training to all the agents nationwide, which is really cool. I'm in a program through them called Launched, which is basically just helping you gain the skill set that you should have in order to really succeed in real estate. I'm in the early stages of that program right now, still just absorbing all of this and just learning a lot. And I've just been exploring my neighborhoods, really trying to familiarize myself with properties and listings, just trying to stay on top of all of those things and just kind of set myself up so that if business does take off, then I will be able to keep up with it and I won't be as stressed about trying to set all these processes up later down the road when I'm trying to just do the job. I would say that's kind of been my main focus, and just kind of starting to build my network, if that makes sense. That's kind of where I'm at now with all the real estate stuff, but I am officially a member of NMAR and NAR, so the National Real Estate Association, the Montana Association of Realtors, and the Northwest Montana Association of Realtors. I'm pretty sure that's the name. It's NMAR. That's the acronym. It's much easier to remember. I just had my induction with them this past week. I'm officially a realtor, which is you're just kind of held to a higher standard of ethics. You have access to more resources through being a part of them. That was really exciting to just kind of meet those people as well. Again, more networking. Yeah, I've just been kind of trying to meet a lot of people and just kind of start to get my name and face out in the community. So that's kind of a wrap on all the real estate stuff. I don't know if most people are even interested in that, but I've been talking about it on my channel for a while, so I figured I'd give you guys an update. It's big updates in my life, something I've been working really hard towards. So, and also along those lines, I'm also starting a real estate YouTube channel. So anyone who wants to see if you live in the Flathead Valley or are ever looking to move to the Flathead Valley or just our region in Montana, it just gives you good resources to kind of learn about the area. I'll be posting things kind of just like neighborhood walks, looking at the schools in the area, giving information about different neighborhoods, obviously showing properties as well, just kind of going through those types of real estate things. If anyone is curious in the area, I'll be posting most of my real estate stuff there, even though I will be kind of touching on some of the personal sides of it on my channel. If you are interested in that, I'll be sure to post the handle here, and I'm sure you can click somewhere else on the screen that will take you straight there. So that is basically a wrap on all the real estate stuff for now. My friend Mel came to visit me, which was really fun. She is from back home, and she was my first friend to come and officially visit me. She came to visit around mid-June, and we just got to do a lot of fun things. We went to Glacier and got to show her all around there. We did 2 hikes there. We did one, I can't remember the name of it, but it was up by Logan Pass. If I remember, I'll put it on the screen. Then the other one we did was Avalanche Lake, because we'd done that one previously, and then we also did it with her. Yeah, it was really fun. We got to do a lot of adventuring up in Glacier. Keith and I went, like I said before, and we hiked Avalanche Lake. I think that was the first one open of the season, or one of the first open. We went there when it was still snowy. It was still pretty cold. We actually had a deer come up to us. We had just been talking about what do you do if you get approached by an animal like a bear or a moose or something like that. Keith was jokingly telling me like, oh, I'll fight it off. And I'm like, well, what do I do? Because we were farther along the trail where not as many people were. And I don't think they would have heard us if I was like yelling or he was getting attacked by a moose. Like, they couldn't have seen us. And I'd just been talking with him about that. And then this deer walks right up to us, like straight out of the woods. I think he still had his velvet, is what you call it, and he came about 10 feet away from us and just kind of watched. We were like, is he gonna like come at us? I don't think that, like, not to make it sound like that a deer is gonna do anything, but like you never know, and especially since we had just been having that conversation, this deer comes right up to us. But I think he was just curious and was just watching. He didn't really do anything. He kind of followed us the rest of the way down the trail up in the woods a little bit, but yeah, he didn't really do anything, and pretty cool to see that. And then it was just really cool to take her and show her around kind of like my new home and a place that I've been visiting for over a year now. It was just cool to kind of share that with somebody from my home. And then some other cool things, like a little adventures we've done. There's a lot of lakes around us, and it's quite popular to go and catch turtles, so we would just take our paddle boards out. Keith got me a paddle board for Christmas last year, so he has friends we went with. They would literally just dive in the water and catch the turtles, and like bare hands kind of thing. I was just like fascinated. I don't think I'd have enough coordination to do that, but yeah, they were all really good at spotting them and catching them. And then I eventually caught one when Keith and I went back with a net. I caught one, but it's just really cool. They swim around everywhere. There's little baby ones you can catch, and they're smaller than the palm of my hand. Yeah, so that's been another fun thing. We've just been taking the paddle boards out a lot, kind of by the lake near us. And so Keith and I have done a couple camping trips as well. We did one camping trip. We were in the Jewel Basin. I think it was Twin Lakes. That was very eventful.
A little bit snowy on the last little bit to the lake. We're descending down into it right now.
All snow.
Gonna try not to slip and fall.
Really pretty, but it was also really cold, and that's something like you don't really think about. Like, we were dying. It was so hot down here in the valley, and then we hiked up the mountains and it's snowy and you're freezing, so it's like hard to know how to pack. Because when we went camping there, we carried everything, basically backpacked up and carried as much as we could and camped up there. Keith slept in a hammock with a bug net around it. I slept in the tent, but it was freezing, and I feel like we did not pack well for that at all. Then a couple weeks later, we went camping closer to where we were catching the turtles. Packed more appropriately. We were able to just drive up and kind of carry our stuff down, so that was a lot easier. Same type of sleeping thing, and yeah, just got to go paddleboarding. We did that camping trip for our 1-year anniversary, so we're officially over a year now that we've been together. So it's just been really nice being able to spend that time together, because we don't know when we're gonna have a free summer like this really ever again. And I say free summer as in we're not working, but I mean, I've still been studying and all of that stuff. But yeah, it's just been nice to kind of actually enjoy our time. Then for the 4th of July, we just kind of went up to Whitefish. There's a famous fireworks show we went to go see. It was a really pretty area, super fun day. So then the other thing I was gonna say, other big kind of updates. So we found a church as well in our area we've been going to. We really like it so far. So we've been going there for about 2 months, I want to say. They were having a baptism Sunday. I ended up getting baptized because I have never been baptized. I was raised Catholic, and baptism in the Catholic Church means something different than it does in the Christian church. I had been kind of wrestling with it because my walk in my faith, I kind of slowly just transitioned, agreeing more with their theology and teachings and things. And because that transition was very slow and I didn't really have, like an adult kind of guiding me through those steps, I feel like it was very much God leading me through it. I never had somebody kind of say, like, now it would be a good time for you to get baptized. And what baptism basically means is you are declaring your life to Christ. It means you have given your life to Christ and you accept him as your savior. When you get baptized, it's supposed to be a full body submersion in water and come back out. And the symbolism is your old self is dying and you are raised to new life. And so all of your past sins are washed away and you are brought back a new creation. And I had known that and everything, but I kind of wrestled with it a lot of, is that something I really need to do? I just didn't know if it was kind of gonna invalidate my Christianity from the past few years or anything like that, which kind of sounds dumb when you say it, but I just didn't want to do it in front of a bunch of people and be like, wait, she hasn't been baptized, and all those types of things. And in my mind, I was like, I technically have been baptized, but it means something completely different. And so I wasn't sure if it was something that I should do or anything like that, but I'd been praying about it, and I just kind of felt like God was telling me, like, Laura, I'm trying to tell you, this is what I want for you. Jesus commands it. It's obedience to God is to follow it. And so I was like, you know what, God, you're right. And so I just decided to do it. Yeah, decided to follow through with it, and I'm really glad that I did. It just felt really long overdue. I feel like I should have done it. In my heart, I feel like I could have done it 3 years ago, and it would have that probably would have been the time that would have made more sense, but better late than never, and I'm just really glad that I did it. And then the other thing with church is a couple weeks ago I auditioned for the worship team there. This will be the second church that I am playing at regularly. The audition went really good, and then I had my first practice with them this past Thursday. I will be doing my first Sunday worship set with them this Sunday, so that's actually tomorrow, and I need to practice to make sure I have my parts down, but I think it's going to be more of an acoustic set, so it'll be interesting. But that's kind of been the deal with church and everything. Lastly, the only other thing I could think of is just all the documentation stuff. I got my license switched over, registration switched over. Yeah, it's kind of official now. I am a Montanian, so that took a decent amount of effort as well. There's a lot of ping-ponging stuff of people sending me different places and whatever, but finally got all that stuff sorted. My house, I have my car, have my license plates, have my license, and my real estate license is all in Montana now. So took a lot of work to get to where we are now. We're just enjoying life and excited to kind of start building on everything that I've worked so hard for. So that is pretty much the update. Emotionally, I would say I'm loving it. I'm really enjoying living in a place with people who want to get out and do stuff, having fun things to do all the time. Keith and I go play pickleball, we'll go down to the lake or just go for a walk, and there's always people out doing those things as well, so it's just kind of nice to see that. Yeah, we're just really loving getting to live life together and go about our days and things like that. So obviously I miss my family. They had a big reunion this year back on the East Coast, and I wasn't able to make it just because all the stuff with my job kind of started picking up during that time, so couldn't really go to make it home, and obviously time and money as well. So the timing just didn't work out. I've just been able to touch base with them a lot through technology, through FaceTime. I keep up with them that way, so can't wait to bring them out here. If they're watching this, we're gonna have a fun time when you guys come out. I'm glad I could finally update you guys on the past few months. It's just been a long time coming, and it took me so long to actually edit everything and get it out in the midst of all of the life stuff happening and just the new job and everything. So hopefully I can get back to a regular posting routine, and I'm just kind of trying to find my footing with my job, just in my schedule and things like that. Once I get all of that kind of squared away, I think that's when the routine will start coming back. I appreciate you guys' patience and just kind of being understanding of life just happening. So I appreciate you guys, and it was really great catching up with you. Be sure to comment how your summer's been going, and for those of you who are starting school soon, best of luck. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.